everybody, Candice here with Candice Adelle Photography. If you haven't hopped on one of these Facebook Lives before, I will introduce myself as a wedding photographer and business coach. And what we've been doing over the last few weeks is talking specifically to photographers and wedding professionals about building their wedding business. We're going to be doing a little bit of a shift. So what I'm going to be doing moving forward is most of those videos about growing your wedding business are going to take place in my private Facebook group for wedding professionals. I'm going to post a link below. So if you're interested in joining that group, we've got a few hundred people in there. Just for the purpose of growing your business, and you want to be able to hop on those lives where we're talking about growing your business from 0 to 6 figures, or just getting more traction from where you are, then you definitely want to hop in that group so you will see those videos. And then moving forward, the videos on this page are going to be more targeted towards our lovely couples out there. So anyone is obviously more than welcome to hop on and take a peek at the videos, but moving forward, this is going to be more wedding and client-centric, to be talking about different tips that we have for wedding day and for portraits and all those wonderful things. So today we're going to talk about wedding day tips and etiquette, and this is going to be about first looks. This is something that comes up a lot when I am meeting with potential clients about their wedding day, and a lot of times there is just some apprehension that's wrapped up in a first look. It goes against tradition, it doesn't go against tradition, there's fears around seeing each other beforehand that's going to detract from the wedding day. And today I just want to outline some of the pros and some of the cons of doing a first look so you can really have a good understanding of what you're getting and what you might be giving up by doing it or not doing it. So I have photographed probably close to 200 weddings in my career, and when I first started advising potential clients on whether or not to do a first look, I kind of left it all up to them, which I still do to a certain extent, but I didn't share as much information as I do now because I do feel a little bit more strongly about it than I did in the past. I will say that more times than not, I have clients that are choosing to do a first look. That's not to say that if you choose not to, that you're making a wrong decision. It's really what you feel comfortable with. But I will say that those clients that choose to do a first look, they do get more photos. It's just a fact. You're going to have more time to do portraits. It's just more time with each other. And as a result, you just get more pictures out of it. But I'm going to go through just a few bullet points here to let you know what the structure of the day looks like when you do a first look, and then some of the advantages and disadvantages. So the first thing, disadvantages of doing a first look. Number one, it does go against tradition. Although I feel like first looks are becoming tradition, I would say way more than 50% of my couples end up doing them. And honestly, that's the only disadvantage that I can think of is, that it does go a little bit against tradition. I'm not a superstitious person. I don't believe that if you see each other prior to the actual nuptials that it's going to affect your marriage. I don't buy into that. Marriage is so much more than whether or not you choose to do a first look. So, but as far as advantages go, one of the great things about doing a first look is that yes, you get to see each other prior to the ceremony, but all of those nerves that you have leading up to the ceremony itself, all of my couples have told me that it just alleviates that immediately when the two of them are able to see each other prior to the ceremony. So you have this private moment between the two of you, minus the photographer kind of being in the background, but you have this private moment with the two of you where you can, give each other a hug, you can talk to each other, you can, express that emotion that you're having in that moment without all of your guests watching. So a lot of people really like that. They like being able to have that private moment together. And a lot of times what I hear from clients that are kind of on the fence about whether or not they want to do a first look is that they're really concerned that having that moment together privately is somehow going to detract from the emotion of the day. I can tell you that out of, like I said, close to 200 weddings that I have photographed, I have never had a couple come to me and say, hey, we did a first look and we really wish that we hadn't done it. Or, hey, we did that first look and we really feel like we were missing something during the ceremony because, you know, the groom didn't see the bride walking down the aisle, you know, for the first time during that moment. I've never had anyone say that. I will say I have had couples tell me that they wish that maybe they had done a first look because it would have given them more time to get through the portraits, for them to be a part of their cocktail hour. So it's really quite the opposite. So, I mean, that's really like the number one advantage of doing it is that you get to have that intimate moment together. You can hug, you can give each other a kiss, you can talk about how wonderful they look and how excited they are to be getting married in just, you know, an hour or so. So that is the number one advantage. Number two, you are able to get a lot of those portraits done before the ceremony. So portraits of the two of you, portraits of the bridal party and immediate family, you can knock it all out before the ceremony happens. So that is a big advantage for you as the couple, because that means you get to join your cocktail hour after the ceremony is over. But it's also a big advantage for your immediate family and for your bridal party, because they also get to join cocktail hour after the ceremony is over, instead of having to hang back and to do a ton of portraits. So that's something to consider too when you are thinking about the flow of your day. Do you want to be able to be a part of your cocktail hour and to have that time, that extra time with your guests? And do you want your family and your bridal party to be able to do that as well? And then number three is, like I mentioned before, you are gonna get more portraits. You're just gonna have more shooting time. Now, for, you know, the couple that is like very steadfast about tradition and feeling like a first look is not for them, that is totally fine. I have plenty of clients that choose to go the route of tradition and to see each other for the first time as bride is walking down the aisle. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I would recommend if you choose not to go the first look route and you choose to see each other for the first time right before the ceremony, I would recommend adding time into your cocktail hour. Because when you think of it from a timeline perspective, after the ceremony is over, cocktail hour is typically an hour long. Doesn't have to be if you want to add more time, but typically it's an hour long. And the things that you're going to want photographed within that 1 hour time frame is portraits of the two of you, photos of all of your family, your immediate family and extended family, and then photos of your bridal party. But you're also gonna want your photographers or photographer to be able to go into the reception space and get photos of all of your reception details before the guests are allowed to come in and start putting down their jackets and shoes and, well, shoes. Hopefully they keep their shoes on. But jackets and purses and all of those things, putting their drinks down. You want those spaces to be photographed as they were set without any of those things. So if you are choosing to not do a first look, I definitely recommend extending your cocktail hour by 15 to 30 minutes. If you go much further than that, then you are looking at grumpy guests. So that would allow you more time for portraits and time for you to go to cocktail hour for a short period, so your photographers can go into the reception space and get photos of all those beautiful reception details that you've worked so hard on, that your planners worked so hard on, your florists, you know, all of the people that have come together to make the party part of your day absolutely amazing, and you're going to want them photographed. So those are my tips and my insight for whether to do a first look or to not do a first look. So let's just recap. So doing a first look, you get to get all those jitters out prior to the ceremony. You get to knock out a ton of photos ahead of time so you can join cocktail hour and you also just get more photos in the long run. And then if you choose not to do a first look, like I said, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you are chatting with your photographer or your planner to add in that extra time into cocktail hours, so you can, number one, at least be a part of it for a period of time, but also so your photographer has time to get into the reception space to photograph all those gorgeous reception details. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I will be back next week with more tips and etiquette for wedding day. See you guys soon. Bye.